Also tonight, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi is heading to the US again, September 22nd and 23rd, at the dates released for the United Nations Summit of the Future event in New York. That's the official purpose of his visit. But as with previous Modi visits to the US, a huge focus will be a major community event scheduled in New York on the 22nd of September. Planners say 15,000 people are expected to be at a gathering of Indian diaspora. It's titled Modi and US Progress Together. And the stated aim is to celebrate India and the US and a common cultural ethos. The website of the Indian American Diaspora Association that's organizing the community event says community donations will cover the costs. Registration is currently open. This will be the fifth time Prime Minister Modi will address the Indian community in the US from New York's Madison Garden in 2014 to his state visit to Washington, D.C. in 2023. Community meetings have been a central part of Modi's US visits, from his first visit during President Barack Obama's tenure to the Howdy Modi event with President Trump in Houston 2019 and the smaller Reagan Center event in Washington last year. They've all made global headlines. A big factor this time will be the US elections around the corner. Organizers say they intend to keep it non-political, with no elected officials invited. But there is no missing the Indian-American dimension. Kamala Harris, the Indian Black American Democrat presidential nominee, to Usha Vance, the wife of the Republican VP candidate J.D. Vance. The impact and reach of the Indian diaspora is clear enough. Prime Minister Modi may also address the United Nations General Assembly on the 26th of September, besides a range of bilateral meetings planned on the sidelines. Let's talk about this. And we are now being joined by our correspondent Susan Teherani from New York. Hi, Susan. How is New York readying itself for the Summit of the Future event? And what do we know about the visit of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the United States?
Right. As you mentioned, the Prime Minister is expected to be here in New York for this 15,000-person event, which is a very large gathering in late September. It also coincides with the United Nations General Assembly. So as you can imagine, New York is really gearing up for that high-level event on the one side and will most likely and definitely be gearing up for Prime Minister Modi's event as well. This is one of the bigger events that we'll see during the UNGA, and it's sure to really be a crowd pleaser on the one side because of the big Indian diaspora here in New York and surrounding areas in the East Coast, states like New Jersey and Philadelphia and Chicago as well, but also because, again, it comes on the sidelines of the UNGA, and the Prime Minister is expected to address the General Assembly as well.
What more do we know about the Summit of the Future event? Because this has been a topic that has been discussed by various countries who are willing to attend this event. What do we know about that event?
Yeah, it does fall in line with the United Nations aims and goals and aspirations for what it wants to achieve by the year 2030 on the one hand. And on the other hand, there are many challenges that communities and countries really face that are the same across the board, like the threat from AI, cybersecurity, global warming, climate change. So we're expected to really hear about those issues moving forward. But also, Prime Minister Modi wants to focus on the Indian diaspora here in the United States and their contributions to the American society. As you mentioned, it's not only in the higher echelons of society that Indian Americans have contributed to, but also, in regular business dealings day by day. The economic aspect of that is really highlighted as well, time and again. And I think that's what we're going to see with the Prime Minister's visit here.
All right, that is Susan Teherani, live in New York. Susan, thank you. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.